Welcome back, my turtles, to another art video with Foxfoot Crafts. Today's video is going to be featuring something that if you followed me back in my SwampBot days, you may have remembered these cards. So back in the days of SwampBot, I made these cards, and I made copies of them, and I held on to the originals, and they've been sitting in a sketchbook for a while. And I colored the copies, but I never colored the originals, and I have decided it is time to color these and pass them along to somebody who might enjoy them. So this video is just going to be me going through and coloring some old cards that I have. Now with these cards, it's kind of a long drawn-out story, but back in the day of SwampBot is a website that you go onto, you sign up, and you do pen paling and snail mail, and I got pretty heavily involved doing art trading cards on there. And I ended up making friends, I use that term loosely, looking back now, but I made friends with some people on there that were very adamant about like art trading card swaps every single day. Like they all had like really high ratings, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, 2,000-3,000 positive ratings, that's amazing. And then you click on it and it was because they were trading with the same like 4 people every single day. And so kind of misleading. Should have been a red flag that I didn't pick up on at the time. But then it got into it just became like mass producing art trading cards. And so what I would do is I would draw a set of art trading cards, ink them out, and then put them on a copier and run them through a copier and make multiple copies of it, and then print them off and color the copies, kind of like a coloring book. So I mean, it was still my artwork, you know, my ideas, my coloring, but it was kind of like prints, a little bit more labor intensive than prints, but I don't know, looking back at it, you know, I should have picked up on some signs. I later had a falling out with these individuals. One of them was like, your art isn't good enough, you're rushing your cards, and yet they would have a little like Bic ballpoint pen 5-minute sketch of an eyeball, which is what like anybody who does art, you've sketched an eyeball in your sketchbook at some point, and they would trade that as a card. And so it was kind of hypocritical, but it devastated me to kind of have these people that I thought were my friends be like, your art isn't any good and doesn't have any value, but our art is way better. But then somehow like gaslit me into believing that my art wasn't good. And so then I would like go way over and above to try to compensate for that, and it was a mess. It was a really toxic situation. I can look at it now, like at the time I was crushed and heartbroken about it, because 2 of the people on there that I just really, really loved getting to talk to and do swaps with, both kind of reached out to me and were like, you're too toxic, we don't want you in our life. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the toxic one. And it was a mess. Like I said, looking back now, I'm like, I wasn't toxic. I was just trying to make some art friends and fit in and get art and make art. So I don't know. I had a dude trace some of my own artwork and try to trade it back to me, and that was really off-putting. And I didn't even call him on it. I didn't say, hey dude, you've traced my artwork. I was just gonna let it go. And so he wanted like a full body sketch and then traced the face of one of my characters. I sent him as a reference. And so I was like, okay, well, you did a headshot, so I'll do a headshot too. And so that way we're trading headshot for headshot. And then if you want to do a full body, I'll do a full body card. Then we'll do a 2-for-2 swap, and it'll be more fair. And I guess that upset him, because then, like, he blocked me on Instagram, and then went to these people that I thought were my friends, and I guess they knew each other in real life, and so he, like, said that I was hateful and mean and toxic, and because they were friends with him, they immediately took his side. You know, they were real life friends with him instead of just online friends. And so, I don't know, it was definitely a turn off from SwapBot. Kind of crushed me, but that's okay, because it ended up leading to me kind of becoming spiteful about it and being like, oh, you don't think my art's good enough? And so then, like, I really started looking into, like, improvements, and that's what encouraged me to join the ATC with Friends group. And because, like, the quality of those cards, like, you really have to put your heart and soul into those cards. Like, I don't get to participate in all of the monthly swaps because I know I'm not going to have time to put a ton of work into them, and so I only sign up for those swaps when I know I'm going to have some downtime that I can really invest into them. So yeah, kind of a bittersweet but life lesson. It is what it is. I wish those people the best. It was a little upsetting. It could have been handled better, but that's just kind of the nature of humans. So, but again, with these cards, these are the originals, and since I'm kind of done with that SwapBot part in my life, I feel like it's time to color the originals and pass them on to somebody else. Now, all of this, I know it sounds like I'm just ranting about it. I met a lot of really good people from SwapBot too. To like maybe 3 of my super close art buds I met from SwapBot, and so 4, no, oh my gosh, more than that. Yeah, so I did meet some really great people from SwapBot too, so I definitely owe that website a lot. It's a point in my life that I have moved past. So here we have the Ninetail Fox from Okame, Ninetales from Pokemon, Vulpix from Pokemon, Kirara from Inuyasha, Keaton Fox from Legend of Zelda, and Renamon from Digimon. So the whole concept I had with these was just some of my favorite mystical fox characters from cartoons and animes. But Love this set. Love how it turned out. Let's go ahead and show them scanned in. And there we have it. I used my normal markers, but instead of shading with the markers, I actually went back and used colored pencil on top of it to just try something new, give it a little bit of different depth than some of my other work. Also, it helps it kind of pull away from the prints that I had made of these, because the prints I definitely did in all markers. So these 100% originals are colored base with marker and then gone over with the colored pencils. So thank you everyone for listening to my what feels like a rant at this point, but watching these cards. They will be available for trade or sale. You can reach me at foxfootcrafts@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time.